Hi guys, this is the last notes for the last section for this week. So we're going to talk about what happens when we start using some algebra or have some x's up in our problems. Okay, so when a special angle pair have algebraic expressions, you must determine if the angles are congruent or supplementary. Then follow the steps below. Okay, so I have to decide what they are and if they equal each other. So here we go. We're going to talk about it now. So before I get ahead of myself here. So if they're congruent, we're going to set the expressions equal to each other. And then we're going to solve. So here we go. So if I look at the picture that I have, I know that this angle and this angle, well, they're alternate interior angles. And alternate interior angles are congruent to each other. We know that from our definition. So that means that they're equal to each other. Congruent means equal. So that means I can write my equation that says 3x minus 3 equals 2x plus 20. Equal to each other means, well, they mean it means they're equal to each other. So there we go. So now I'm going to solve for x. So I'm going to subtract 2x. And I'm going to add 3. So I get 3x minus 2x is x, and that's 0, equals 0, 23. And that was it. All it said is solve for x. It didn't tell me to do anything else, so I'm just solving for x. So there we go. But we can verify. I'm just going to say we can verify that they are equal to each other. And how I do that is I'm going to say 3 times 23 minus 3. Well, 3 times 23 is 69 minus 3 equals 66. Did I multiply that out right? 3 times 23 is 63. Yeah, that should be right. And then let's try this. 2 times 23 plus 20. So that should be 46 plus 20 is 66 degrees. Yeah, beautiful. Okay. And then let's talk about what happens if they're supplementary. Well, if they're supplementary, we're going to add the expressions and then set them equal to 180, right? Supplementary means they equal 180. So if I look at my expressions, I know that what did they give me here? Let's see. I have this one. They gave me this one and this one. Okay. So I need to talk about this one. Well, I know that this angle and this angle, since they're vertical angles, this one is also x plus 15. Okay? And then now these two, they're alternate interior, same side interior angles, so those are equal to 180 degrees. So that means that x minus 97 plus x plus 15 equals 180. Notice I had to manipulate that a little bit to get it to be something that would be one of my special pairs. So I could also, instead of moving this one here, I could also take this one and move it here because that's also a vertical angle. And then I could have said this is x minus 97. And then I have these two, which are same side exterior angles, which are also equal to 180. So I end up with the same equation. So I just kind of wanted to point that out. I would have to move one of them to get it to be one of my special pairs. So I'm going to add my like terms here. So there's one like term, and then these two are like terms. So I get 2x, and then negative 97 plus 15. Negative 82 equals 180 plus 82, So 2x equals, let's see, 262 divided by 2. X is going to equal 131. So then we can see if that is right here. So 131 plus 15 is going to be equal to 131 plus 15, 146 degrees. And then this one is 131 minus 97. 131 minus 97 should be 34 degrees. And then does that add up? So 146 plus 34, well, that's a 0, and that's an 8. Yep, that's 180 degrees. Beautiful. Okay, so that's how we do it. And now we're just going to do, I have two other practice ones, just in case wasn't quite clear on what we were supposed to do, and we're going to just work through them. So what type of angles are these two? This one and this one. Are they equal or are they congruent? Well, they're on opposite sides of my transversal, so that's what I know. I know they're opposite sides of my transversal, and they're on the outside of my parallel line. So on the opposite side of my transversal, so they're alternates, and they're exteriors, that means they're congruent. So that means that they're equal to each other. So x equals 3x minus 120. So I'm going to subtract 3x, and I get negative 2x equals negative 120. Divide by negative 2, x equals 60. So I want to kind of look at my directions because it says solve for x, but then it says then find the measures of both angles. So this is one that we were kind of talking about. I'm not only solving for x, I actually do have to find the measures of the angles. Before I was just checking to make sure I was doing it right, but this one actually says I have to find the measures of the angles. So this one is just 60 degrees because it's just x. So this is 60 degrees. And this one I have to plug in. So I'm going to do 3 times 60 minus 120, right? So I'm going to take my 6 and I'm going to, my x equals 60 and plug it in wherever there's an x, and then I'm going to solve. So 3 times 60 is 180 minus 120. That should be 60 degrees, equals 60 degrees. Beautiful. Okay. So now we've got one more to work, and let's see if we can figure out what we've got here. So we've got, they're on opposite sides of the transversal, but one's inside and one's outside, so that doesn't really tell me anything. So I need to move one of these as a vertical. I'm gonna say vertical angle here, right? This is x minus 10, then this one is also x minus 10 because they're vertical angles. And then I know that this is on the same side of the transversal on the exterior. So same side of my transversals. So that means most of the ones that are on the same side, and they're on their exterior, they're not one interior, one exterior. They're on the same side and they're opposites. They're both exterior, so that means that they're supplementary. Okay, so that means that they equal 180. So I've got x plus 50 plus x minus 10 equals 180. So my like terms, I've got x and 50 and negative 10. So 2x plus 40 equals 180. Subtract 40. So 2x equals 140. Divide by 2. So x equals 70. Okay, so now I'm going to take my x and I'm going to plug it in. So this one says 70 plus 50 equals 120 degrees. And this one says 70 minus 10 equals 60 degrees. And there we go. All done. Okay, good job, you guys. You have some problems to do, and then we're all done. You'll have a few delta maths. I think I'm just going to do one delta math for everything instead of 3 different delta maths, because you're doing quite a bit in the Nearpod. So you're just going to have one delta math that covers everything. So I will talk to you guys later. Have a great week. If you have any questions, make sure you're contacting myself or Miss Gilpin. You guys have a great day. Thanks.